Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Introduction. Man's Search for Meaning is a profoundly influential book written by Viktor Frankl, an Austrian neurologist, psychiatrist, and Holocaust survivor. Originally published in 1946, the book has since become a classic in the field of psychology and a testament to the indomitable human spirit. Frankl's experiences as a prisoner in Nazi concentration camps during World War II inspired him to develop his psychotherapeutic approach called Logotherapy, which emphasizes finding meaning and purpose in life as the primary motivator for human existence. The book is divided into two main parts. Part 1 delves into Frankl's personal experiences in the concentration camps, while Part 2 focuses on his psychological theory of logotherapy. Plot, section-wise and chapter-wise explanation. Part 1, Experiences in a Concentration Camp. Section 1, The Tragic Triad. Chapter 1, The Capture. Frankl narrates how he and his family were arrested by the Nazis and sent to Theresienstadt, a concentration camp. He introduces the concept of the tragic triad consisting of pain, guilt, and death, which were ever present in the inmates' lives. Chapter 2, The Initial Shock. The shock and disbelief of arriving at the camp are explored in this chapter. Frankl recounts the abrupt separation from loved ones and the loss of personal possessions, highlighting the psychological impact on the prisoners. Chapter 3, Routine in the Camp. Frankl discusses the dehumanizing routines and brutal conditions in the concentration camps. He describes the prisoners' daily struggle for survival and the gradual emotional numbing that occurred due to constant exposure to suffering. Chapter 4, The Psychology of the Prisoner. In this chapter, Frankl analyzes the psychological reactions of the inmates, including feelings of hopelessness, apathy, and depersonalization. He also emphasizes the importance of maintaining a sense of self and dignity amidst the atrocities. Section 2, Logotherapy in a Nutshell. Chapter 5, The Case for Tragic Optimism. Frankl presents the idea of tragic optimism, wherein one can find meaning even in the most difficult and tragic circumstances. He argues that life remains meaningful despite suffering, and it is our responsibility to discover that meaning. Chapter 6, The Will to Meaning. Frankl explores the human will to meaning, proposing that this innate drive motivates individuals to seek purpose and significance in their lives. He outlines how logotherapy aims to tap into this will to overcome despair. Part 2, Logotherapy in a Clinical Setting. Section 1, Logotherapy in a Nutshell, continued. Chapter 7, Freedom and Responsibility. Frankl discusses the concept of freedom of will and the responsibility each individual bears in shaping their responses to life's challenges. He asserts that even in dire circumstances, one has the freedom to choose their attitude towards suffering. Chapter 8, The Case Against Aggression. The chapter addresses the common psychological defense mechanisms employed by prisoners, including aggression and bitterness. Frankl warns against adopting a hostile attitude, as it can lead to spiritual decay. Section 2, Logotherapy in a Clinical Setting. Chapter 9, The Meaning of Life. Frankl delves into the quest for meaning in life and argues that meaning can be found in various ways, such as through creative work, experiences of love, and the attitude towards unavoidable suffering. Chapter 10, Logotherapy and Psychotherapy. Frankl applies logotherapy to psychotherapy, describing its techniques and processes for helping patients discover their life's meaning. He emphasizes that logotherapy aims to uncover the uniqueness of each individual's purpose. Characters. The primary character in the book is Viktor Frankl himself, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor. Other characters include fellow inmates and camp personnel he encountered during his time in the concentration camps. However, the book primarily focuses on Frankl's personal experiences and reflections rather than individualizing other characters. Themes. 1. Search for meaning. The central theme of the book is the human search for meaning and purpose, even in the face of extreme suffering and adversity. 2. Tragic optimism. The concept of finding optimism and hope in tragic circumstances is a recurring theme throughout the book. 3. Human resilience. The book explores the incredible resilience of the human spirit and its capacity to endure unimaginable hardships. 4. Freedom of will. Frankl emphasizes the freedom of will and the ability to choose one's attitude towards life events, regardless of the external circumstances. 5. Responsibility and dignity. The book underscores the importance of taking responsibility for one's actions and maintaining personal dignity, even in the darkest moments. 6. Existential questions. Frankl contemplates existential questions about suffering, love, death, and the meaning of life. Motifs. 1. The tragic triad. The motif of pain, guilt, and death recurs as an ever-present aspect of the concentration camp experience. 2. Moments of transcendence. Frankl describes moments of transcendence, where inmates briefly rise above their dire circumstances through meaningful experiences or connections. Setting. The book's primary setting is the Nazi concentration camps during World War II, where Frankl and other prisoners endured horrific conditions and unspeakable suffering. These camps, such as Theresienstadt and Auschwitz, provide the backdrop for his personal experiences and the development of his psychological insights. Genre. Man's search for meaning falls into several genres, including autobiography, memoir, psychology, and philosophy. It blends Frankl's personal account of survival in the concentration camps with his philosophical and psychological reflections on the human condition. Writing style and diction. Viktor Frankl's writing style in Man's Search for Meaning is concise, profound, and deeply reflective. He combines his clinical expertise as a psychiatrist with poignant storytelling to present his ideas. The diction is clear and accessible, making complex psychological concepts understandable to a broader audience. Frankl's use of first-person narrative draws readers into his experiences, enabling them to empathize with the emotional and psychological turmoil he and other inmates endured. The writing is both philosophical and pragmatic, offering insights into the human psyche while also providing practical guidance for finding meaning in life's challenges.